Sunderland in the sun, Sunderland in the sun, ole ole. Sunderland in the sun, ole ole. Sunderland in the sun, ole ole. Sunderland in the sun, Sunderland in the sun, the sun, Sunderland in the sun, Sunderland in the sun, ole ole. Sunderland in the sun, ole ole.
Abdullah.
Sunderland in the sun, Sunderland in the sun.
Sunderland in the sun, ole ole. Yes guys, and welcome back to another video. As you can see, I am back from Spain, back from pre-season away with Sunderland in Benidorm. I've caught the sun, as you could probably also see as well. But yeah, I just wanted to go over a few things that have been going on over the last 24 hours and over the course of me being away. I'll probably end up glazing over quite a lot of it and missing bits and pieces here and there, and I probably won't be able to go into too much depth because a lot of things have happened over the last week or so. And like I said, I've been away. And yeah, so first I just want to say what an amazing trip it was. Benidorm, just crawling with Mackems, and you know, even just seeing people who watch the channel and stuff, it still absolutely baffles me, and it blows my mind. Even just watching Sunderland anywhere, when I go there and everywhere and do away games or go up to the stadium light when I can, I find that mad in itself. So to be abroad in Benidorm when I've, you know, even jamsarny screaming down the street here and there and chatting with some of you guys, and it was just absolutely amazing. Yeah, so of course over the course of the two games, it is what it is. It's pre-season. There was some sort of positives you could take, some sort of negatives. I think it's just going to take a long time for us to really see the impact of Regular Brie. And believe me, there's so many songs made of Regular Brie. Some of them just didn't even fit, but Mackems being Mackems, we somehow squeezed it into songs, and yeah, it was a cracking time. I'm not going to go too much and dissect into the games over there because again, they're friendlies. It is what it is. And that goal from Hamia, by the way, dear God. I mean, this is what I was saying, Ryan. I was over there. He's got that in him. He's got that in him. How many times, you know, how many times does he come onto the pitch and then he'll strike a ball from 35 yard out, and yeah, it might go straight to the keeper, but the movement on that ball and the speed in which he strikes it, the power behind it, it's something like I haven't seen before at times. But just so many other areas of his game that sadly just way off the pace. But it's a goal like that has been coming, and we have seen, as I say a few times, he's not scared to shoot from anywhere, is what my point is. But yeah, so Benidorm, it was incredible. It really was incredible, and you guys made it so unforgettable. You really did. And that montage at the beginning, that was just scraping the surface. Sorry, I've got so many pictures, videos on my phone of just some crazy shit that went on over there that probably isn't fit for YouTube, but it was amazing. And if anyone does ever get the opportunity to go and watch Sunderland pre-season abroad somewhere, I highly recommend it. It's just it's incredible. It is incredible. But quite a few things have happened over the course of the week. Of course, first we got Dan Ballard. Yesterday, I was actually sat in Alicante airport after several delays to my flight, so I was in a shit mood, to put it politely. And then a notification come through that Dan Ballard is staying on with the club, which I know it's a shame that he's out for 6 weeks, but to have someone and tie down someone of the ilk of Dan Ballard, it's a massive statement. And as much as we can give grief to the blokes of the hierarchy at the club, in terms of keeping talent or certain talent, they generally have a really good record of it. You know, Dan Ballard now, I'm hoping that Dan Neil is next one as well. There's been a lot of rumours around Dan Neil putting pen to paper, but yeah, Dan Ballard, that's a massive one, given he had rumours of, you know, Premier League teams looking at him and stuff like that. So it just shows you we are an appealing outfit for players, you know, at least that's still at the club. Today, of course, it has been photos of Ian Poveda, formerly of Leeds. He was at Chef Wednesday last season. He's basically all but done. He's absolutely all but done. We might even get a statement once this video has been released, so I could be way late at the moment. But there's scarf pictures that are going around. It's 100% done. I believe there's rumours that it's a 4-year deal, which I think would be great. Now, Poveda, I've seen a good handful of times, and I've seen a lot of Chef Wednesday and other fans' sort of perspective on him, and it's exactly what I've always thought as well. You know, he's keeping fit, and he's an absolutely belting player. You know, he's not scoring goal after goal after goal after goal, which I've already seen some people try and shut it down for. Like, he's only scored like 2-3 goals. Well, he's only done this, he's only done that. When you think when we signed Jack Clarke, he scored 2 goals with 3 different clubs, and that was it. And I think 2 or 3 assists is that. you know, but then we give them a chance. You know, someone you can see in certain players when they have potential, and Poveda is absolutely one of those. You know, if you ever look at some of the clips, he's got some talent. He can wriggle in between defenders. He's so positive in getting at them. Very intelligent, and as a winger as well, we need that. We need those qualities. Everyone needs those sort of technical abilities, and for me, that would probably mean that someone like a Jewis and Burnett maybe would go out the door. You would think that others might go out on loan. May go out on loan. Because if you think we've got, you know, Clarke, Abdullah Barr, Patrick Roberts, and others as well. Yeah, Watson, who's coming through. I think he might end up getting a loan. But I don't know whether that we might just keep them all and let them fight for places, because it's, what is it? You've got 4 or 5 there, which I don't think is too overkill. But it just gives competition for places, because sometimes when players, even when they're playing poorly, if there isn't competition, they don't give it that extra little bit of that extra percentage, because they know that they're going to play the next week anyway. So when you've got those kind of players all fighting for positions, it's only healthy. So yeah, Poveda is someone who I'm very excited to see. Just hope to God we can keep him fit, and we as a club in recent years haven't been great in keeping our best players fit. But also, of course, a player who I did cover, it was the last video before I did go away to Benidorm, to Alicante. Mendy, 30-year-old striker, of course, he's been scoring goals in the second division in France for the last 3 seasons. As I say, he topped 20 goals last season. 30 years of age, experienced. He seems to be that strong player in and around the box that obviously bags goals as well. So it's the ideal striker, which again I'm not going to repeat myself too much because I did that in the last video. But apparently he is having a medical this week, or maybe he already has had one. Although in saying that, Keith Dhannoo of Sky Sports, he did comment on one response to him when I think one of Sunderland fans said, "Isn't Mendy, or hasn't Mendy already had a medical?" And then Keith Dhannoo said, "I'm not so sure about that." Whereas a lot of other outlets are saying that he has already had the medical, or he's at least having it this week. So that doesn't mean to say he's not. It's just that's what Keith Dhannoo has said. But he's essentially a mag anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But also, one last thing before I do go, apologies that I'm sort of flying through this. It's just I'm trying to catch up on things. I probably missed out things as well. Yes, so Jack Clarke. Over the last day or two, there has been massive rumours and that apparently there is concrete interest from Ipswich to look at Jack Clarke, but we have a strong stance of at least 25 million before we even start discussions with selling Jack Clarke. Now, 25 million plus, I think is fair for Jack Clarke. We know we don't want to see him go. I definitely don't want to see him go. I think if we start to bring in the right personnel now that will excite him, it'll give him a reason to stay. But I feel like he might think that his stock will only go down, and if he gets a chance to go back to the Premier League, would take it, which I do understand. But also, I believe thoroughly that he really enjoys playing for Sunderland Football Club. I believe he absolutely loves playing for SAFC. It's just Ian Hart, his agent, that I reckon he's just made a few texts and a few phone calls, and I think he needs to change because he doesn't look out for the best interest of his player. It's just purely money, but that's football these days anyway. But that's for another conversation. That's for another topic on another day. But yeah, I think I've covered everything there. Apologies again if it just seems a bit rushed. I just want to cover everything quickly so we're back up to date. But as of right now, there hasn't been any confirmation about Poveda or Mendy or anything like that. It's just what we've heard up until this point. It might already be confirmed by the time this video's out. But I hope you've enjoyed. It's good to be back. Blackpool away this weekend. The fun does not stop. If you've enjoyed, hit the like button for me. It'd be massively appreciated. Subscribe if you're new. But for now, take care. Stay jammy.